What's up, otakus? Oh man, boy, was today a good day. A lot of things work wise is going pretty good. I think I ended my last video dealing with a lot of issues. Those issues luckily got resolved, and I had some good meetings this week, so things are at the work level. It's looking really a lot more positive. I do want to, so I was able to stop in my lunch hour at a place I had never been to, and it's called Page Turner Books. It's a bookstore. But man, do they have a great comic book corner. Lots of back issues. In fact, I was pressed on time. I could not search exclusively like through everything. And there's a ton of dollar bin books as well that we didn't have even any time to. I picked up one, but it's definitely like a treasure trove of stuff there that we have to dig more diligently through. I just went in, really sort of I went right to the titles that I'm looking to pick up, and we found some really good. Overall, I think we came out way on top in terms of value compared to what we paid. We paid elevated prices on pretty much everything, but then one book, which is the book of the haul, and we're going to reveal that last. That one book kind of salvaged everything. It's a big Silver Age first appearance, so we'll get to that. Also, I want to send a shout out to Craven Hunts Comics. His package arrived today, and we're going to go through my haul from Page Turner Books. Again, it's a newfound place. I love this shop. There's a lot to kind of explore and dig there. I left a bunch of books there because I got a stack like this. They wouldn't give me the discount that I was looking at, and partly it's because the owner wasn't there. It was like an employee. She just gave me like a roundabout 10% discount off everything, which is ultimately she didn't charge me tax. So we paid $35 for 6 books. And these are all books that are on, top of mind on my wish list. So everything we picked up was good. But again, I was like trying to negotiate a lower price. Again, she's an employee. She didn't really budge. I'm going to try to go in there when the owner's in there. And hopefully if I thought I had a pretty decent stack to where I could at least get, close to, not maybe half off, but closer to like 25-30% off, right? It was a big stack. I had to reduce that to like 6 books. And she only gave she discounted the tax. That's all that happened there. So, but yeah, let's go through what we got, and then we'll unbox what came from Craven Hunts Comics. I think we have 3 books there, and then we'll get to the book of the haul, the big pickup from Page Turner Comics, and we'll go from there. All right, so the first book we picked up was Wonder Woman 64. This is more of the Bolland run that we're trying to complete. Just another beautiful Bolland cover there. Wonder Woman got for $350. We also picked up, let's see, where should I put these? I guess I'll put them right over here. Wait a minute. Put it right over here. We also picked up Wonder Woman 73. This is just a great like taco waitress cover here. She's working for, what is that, Taco Wiz. So Wonder Woman 73. Also, we picked it up for $3.50. And I $3.50 for this, any book in this run, if it's in great, and again, these are near mint condition books. That's kind of where I feel like, yeah, we're getting a good deal on that. Obviously, if we get lower, it's better, but that's kind of where I am. This was from the dollar bin, and she just threw it in. So I got this kind of for free, and it's a pretty, it's a decent VF copy. Official Marvel index to the Fantastic Four. It's this great burn cover that's he kind of attributes to, I think, a Kirby, similar Kirby cover, or in the it's a burn cover in the style or manner of Kirby and Ayers. So just an awesome cover by here. Again, got this for free from the dollar bin. There's a lot of dollar bin books there, and again, a lot of like run stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to going back there possibly next week. We got to go when we have a little bit more time to just sit and like dig, but hopefully we'll have that bandwidth next week. All right, so this is the kind of the big book that we picked up because we spent the most on it. And it's definitely, again, I've been saying how I need to get this book. And it's not only is it a key book and a first appearance, it's just greatness. All right, so we picked up essentially a VF plus copy. Yeah, I would say it's, well, between a fine plus and maybe a VF minus copy, newsstand copy of Fantastic Four 209. This is the first appearance of Herbie the Robot, who's really the fifth member of Fantastic Four from this from the 80s run of Fantastic Four. He was pretty, I think, prevalent in some of the animated content that came out. But this is his first appearance. This is also the first work by John Byrne on Fantastic Four. So really this is the starting point of my John Byrne Fantastic Four collection, and just another book off the checklist. So a big one. Again, I like the condition of it. It was priced at $15, but I figured the condition was decent. I did, I think, overpay a little bit, but at the same time, if I were to get this online somewhere, I would probably be paying that, but not getting the condition on that. So this is kind of like a book that's trending up. Again, that key first appearance, the fact that it's Byrne's first book, I didn't mind paying $15 for it. This next one, I feel like this is going to start going up, or should be higher in value, in my opinion. I would say this is a nice, again, I would put in the VF fine plus VF minus range. It does present really high grade. It's just got a couple like spine issues. Corners are fairly sharp. There's just a dullness to the book. It looks like it's just collected a lot of dust. So I'm sure with a cleaning, nice press, we could get it a little bit higher grade. But it's high grade right as is. And that's X-Men 150. Real key issue here. This is a special double-sized. It's a great Dave Cockrum cover of Magneto and Cyclops in battle. And we have, this is the origin of Magneto, which has been covered. I think everybody associates the movie origin where Magneto, gets spared in the or he goes to the concentration camps, but he gets spared. It's been covered in that origin's kind of like the mainstream origin of Magneto. Well, it wasn't up until this Claremont version of the origin. So covers that, his history as a survivor of the Holocaust, and that's a big, if you're gonna have a villain who's motivated by something, that's a pretty good character history to really drive one's hatred of people who discriminate and are who basically practice bigotry, right? Who look down upon diversity as them being superior over other groups of individuals. So yeah, this is a book I've been meaning to add, and we kind of wanted to pay like $8, and that's what we got this for. So really fortunate. You run across this book all the time, and it's always selling for like $20. It's kind of like, I think it's a very popular issue. So yeah, to be able to pick up in this condition for that price, $8, I think is great. Again, just a real key newsstand edition copy of X-Men 150. All right. Before we get to our book of the haul, we're going to open up our package, and this we paid $30 shipped. Okay, I just want you to keep that in mind. So we paid $35 plus $30. This entire haul, we're talking about 9 books for $65. Now, these 3 books, one of the books, Craven was just generous because, he said he would get the package out. For whatever reasons, he kind of got delayed, and he said, sorry for the delay, but I'm going to throw in an additional book, free of charge for the wait, which I didn't mind. I didn't mind waiting, but the fact that he threw the book in just made it that much better. So one of these is a bonus book, but essentially we paid $30 for 2 books, and these 2 books are ultimately going to be, I think, my favorite Brian Bolland books in the collection. Now, my favorite Brian Bolland book is the one we picked up a couple weeks ago, which is this Bolland CGC signature book of The Killing Joke in a 9.6. Absolutely, like, my favorite Bolland book out of all the stuff he's done. So these 2 books won't, they won't rank higher than that book, but I think these are the next. So we go Killing Joke, and then these books will probably be the defining Bolland books in my collection. And feel free to, I guess no one's in the chat, so I was about to say, if you're in the chat, feel free to take a guess. And, I asked him what the grade was on each of these books, and I trust his grading because we've done trades and stuff in the past. And he basically assured me these would be, high grade books. In his opinion, they're like 9.4, near mint books. So We just got a little taping issue here. We got to get this off nice and easy. Okay. There we go. Ooh. Try to get that off. It's a bit slow. All right, we got the first piece of tape off. There is one more piece of tape. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend the tape next time. Or at least, something easier to get off. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to just have to be real, ease it off there. Oh, careful. Yeah, we're going to have to get these into new bags and board. All right, well, let's see here. How do you want to do this? Should I just cut the tape? What should I do here? That's an option, just cutting the tape. I also just want to secure the bag and board here so the comics aren't falling out. All right, put that back on there. We'll get, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this, obviously don't want the tape there, but we're going to move these to different bags and boards anyway, so just need to cut one more. All right. All right, we had a little bit of a taping issue, but all's good. First off, let's cover the bone. I'm sure you guys saw the books as I was like messing around with them. So hopefully you didn't get too good of a look at them. One of the books here is a newsstand copy. This is in rough shape. I would say it's a mid-grade book. Put it in the fine category, like a 6.0. It's got some pretty decent staple damage. We got a little minor corner crease here, but another copy. I think I have 3 copies. This is my 3rd copy of this. Uncanny X-Men 257. It's the first, or what's the key aspect of this? I think it's not first Psylocke in costume. Maybe it is first Psylocke in costume. But anyway, it's the sort of the redesign. It's like a 3-issue little run here of the, I forget what's got, X of Vengeance. So yeah, just a cool Jim Lee book here. But yeah, we already have copies, but I don't mind adding another. Got a mid-grade newsstand. I think I already have a newsstand, so this is our 2nd newsstand. Don't mind that. All right, but the big books that we got. Yeah, these are nice. I wouldn't necessarily put it as a near mint on this one. This one is near mint. This one's probably, it borders on near mint. I mean, the corners are sharp. So it could probably benefit from a press. But what we got is Justice League of America, number 189. This awesome Starro cover by Bolland. And then we also follow that up with the next issue, which is, this is the real, I love this cover. Again, these 2 covers are probably now like in the, my top Ballin covers, but this one for definitely is like among the top Ballin covers, is probably the second to The Killing Joke, and that is Justice League of America 190. And again, he wanted $30. We negotiated on $30 for both books. I mean, this book alone, I think, is like books at 50, and this books at like 40 in high grade. So yeah, I just think we got a great bargain. It's such a classic cover. I mean, I showed off that Brian Bolland, or not the Brian Bolland, but the DC best covers in its history book, and this book is right smack in there. Such a classic DC cover with the Starros and the infinite amount of people there, kind of who've been brainwashed, or who've been basically are being controlled by him, by it. Starro, you got Wonder Woman, all the members of the Justice League there. Just incredible artwork. So yeah, we definitely got really nice value out of this particular purchase. So again, thanks to Craven Hunt's Comics. He really hooked us up. I appreciate you, man. Just don't use this masking tape next time, and we'll be good. All right. Book of the Haul. And what's really funny? It's I ran into this book, and I figured, what? I didn't think to like look the book up. It was just so cheap. I was like, yeah, we got to get this. And it was sitting in a bag and board. Looking at the condition from the front, I thought, man, this is just a great deal. I didn't even think to look in the back. I just thought, this is the grade. But I didn't know the significance of this book. I just knew it was a 10-cent cover. It was a 10-cent cover of Superboy. It was a great cover. And it was $5. So I thought, man, in this condition for a $5 book, something's off here. And I didn't even think to check, because like they're all taped up. And it's not like you can open it up and you probably would want to take it to the front and say, could I see the back of this book? But I didn't even think to do that. I just assumed, okay, if this is the grade at face value, I know we're getting a good deal. I didn't even look it up to see if it was priced. I was just like, this is a book I want. So we just took it up there. It was $5, willing to pay that. So what we picked up, again, this is $5. What we picked, and I want you to get a sense of what the condition is through the camera. This is how I ran across it at the shop. So what we picked up was a Superboy 76. And this is a key book. It's the first appearance of Beppo, Super Monkey. And it is in absolutely fantastic shape on the front cover. I mean, look at the corners are relatively still sharp. The spine, relative wear there, but no creasing, no major creasing. You got a little bit of a ink mark or something at the top there. Just fantastic looking cover. And again, for $5, I was like, whoa. But then I looked up the value of this book. And again, if this were like a mid-grade book, we're talking about $100, $100+ book, which was like, whoa, like, wow, we picked up $100 book for $5. Um, and I was so excited. I was like, kind of like, after I looked up the book, after I purchased it, I looked up the price of the book. I was like, wow. But then, when we got home, we were moving it, and I realized the back had issues. So it went from mid-grade to low grade, which is fine. And it's also not a complete book, because, and I had to tape up part of the back cover. So whoever previously owned this, and I don't blame the person, there was obviously some kind of cutout here. You can actually see the perforation lines here where you were instructed to cut out. It looked like some kind of deal for these toy soldiers. You could get a gun. Basically, you're just getting like these like toy soldier type thingies. 150 Civil War soldiers, it looks like. And this kid wanted to get the Civil War soldier set, so he cut out that little coupon there to get it, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, it doesn't, lessen my appreciation for the book. In fact, it adds a little personality in terms of the owner and what they were into. But yeah, again, we have like a mid-grade presenting book that's low grade because of the coupon cutout there. So yeah, there's a tear here associated with that cutout. Just a lot of stress over time. I was able to kind of unfurl all the little, creases that were here on the bottom, unfurl them and get them flat. So now it presents pretty, it's nothing, no chunks missing. It's not like there's no brittle pieces that have chipped off. Page quality is actually still really good, supple. We just have that cutout missing. So again, with the press, it might improve, because there's a lot of like just folding and like creasing here. But we could press that out. Again, future project possibly. But overall, man, Beppo, first appearance of Beppo the Super Monkey. In low grade, we're looking at like anywhere from like probably like a $30 book in low grade. Yeah, I for me, this is just a great addition. Not that I'd ever sell this, but if we were to put a value on it, I'd definitely put it above $30 for this, because it's just such a fantastic looking copy. I mean, it's just really, really nice. And again, for $5, that blows anything else we picked up, in terms of the value. Because, yeah, for $5, this is just a super bargain. And I really, really like this. Anytime you got like super baby, here he's obviously a super toddler. He's probably close to how old Leo is now. Maybe, yeah. This looks like he's like around 3 or 4 years old. But that's just cool. That's just a great addition to the collection. Really, I was just overwhelmed by the fact that I knew this could have been the first appearance of Super Monkey. Yeah, when you say introducing Super Monkey, that's probably a good assumption. I just didn't know like how significant this first appearance was, but yeah, I mean, he's a major super pet character. So that is just for me like pretty cool to have in the collection now. So yeah, really, there's just a lot of like really nice pickups from this haul. they're all, I think, big pickups. And we spent a good $65, but I just feel like the value in this haul, there was a good amount of value. Like I said, the Ballin books. I mean, the two Ballin books here probably book at 100. That Superboy first appearance, I would put the value at, like, in this condition, I know I could probably get a lot for it. But again, we're not selling it or anything. But yeah, and then this key issue, more Ballin Wonder Woman books. So I'm just really, really loving this particular haul. And we kind of went over our weekly budget. I will probably hit some comic book shops tomorrow, but again, we're not gonna go crazy. I am currently over weekly budget, and we'll see. It depends on what we run into and for how much. I'm tempted to go back down to Kent again and just dig there. And that's something we may do. Or I think the plan was to hit up, some comic books in North Seattle. That was kind of what I was thinking prior to this haul and finding Page Turner Comics. I mean, Page Turner Comics, we've yet to go through those dollar bins. And I know there's just going to be, again, we picked up this book here for $1. That's just an awesome first issue of, these like Marvel indexes. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff like that in those dollar bins. They don't look like terribly ratty. They're all sort of like, I guess you could look at mid-grade, reader type copies. So kind of excited. It's still undiscovered country still. Because most of the other shops we've been through or we know the pricing on it. And here's a new shop. Again, there's not a lot of dollar bin type options up here. But now we have a new one. And we also have I didn't even get to go through the majority of their back issues. The pricing, again, I think most of the pricing, it can range anywhere from like $3 to like, again, what it's booking, the booking price for it. But pretty extensive on the selection. There are a lot of Ballin Wonder Woman books we left there, but we could go just, next week if we go back. So tomorrow I'm probably going to not stop there. But next week when we go back, we'll go back specifically to pick up more of the Ballin run, because he's got it priced from $3 to about $5 per book in there. Nothing real key or over, like in terms of elevated value books in that run, but again, just more additions, things we had to leave there because they wouldn't match our price. So that's that. And again, there's a lot of stuff in the value bins that I feel like we need to spend some time, just sit down and go through all of them, because there's, it's in terms of like selection, it's not as vast as Jeff's, but I would say there's a good, 30, 20 to 30 short boxes of dollar bin comics. And their regular back issue is even more extensive than that. I mean, you've got just DC section, a Marvel section, and it's just really extensive. No Lois Lane, no Strange Adventures, two things I was kind of specifically looking for. But yeah, they had a great Fantastic Four run. They had to leave a couple burned books there. And not, they're not crazily priced. They're still within reason. A lot of $3 burn books, a lot of $5 burn books. So yeah, pretty exciting to just have discussed. And again, it's not like they're more of a book store. It's mostly books, like bookstore books, like paperbacks, hardbacks, things of all genres. But they have a devoted section to comics, and it's all there on like a big section of the book, and it's just back issues. And I was just, when I walked in, because I'd seen photos, but the photos don't do it justice. Like you walk in there and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like, where has this been? Like there's this gem in Kent that I'd never even thought to like go. But I'm kind of doing this extensive, like I'm just trying to, even the antique place last week, we still have stuff to dig there and more to explore there. But there, a lot of the stuff is in their back, warehouse room. So I think on my next visit, I'm gonna just request can I just check out and see what's upstairs and see if they okay that. But that's kind of more out of the way. I mean, this is just like so close to like where I commute for work on a day-to-day basis. So for me, like, yeah, I mean, can be like again, we just want to get through all of what they have and be able to like sift through what we want there. And that we didn't have time to do, but I imagine it's at some point we're going to get there and have more bandwidth to just spend some time digging. And again, that's going to be sooner rather than later. But we're going to dig through the dollar bins. And again, I have to stay within budget. I'm not going to go crazy. But when the budget resets for next week, I'm looking at, spending another maybe $30 there for next week. And yeah, we'll be able to pick up some good stuff. Again, we're going to dig in the dollar bins first. Maybe pick up a couple of the Wonder Woman books, but that's kind of how I'm looking to, parse out that $30 budget. So, yeah, and I've been good about not picking up anything off of eBay, which I'm glad, like I almost had picked up this book, but not that $15 is, I mean, we could have picked it up for $15 off eBay, but I always prefer to pick stuff up locally. And again, I want to keep that place in business. This was, again, just so many great pickups on this haul. Boom. But again, the book of the haul here, talking about a book from 1959, very early Silver Age, first appearance of Beppo, the super monkey, and Kurt Swan goodness there. Otto Binder story here that introduces like more of the super pets. Man, what a great legacy book this is. What a great legacy book that is. And we don't mind, obviously we would have preferred a book that was complete and not destroyed, but overall, it's still, it is what it is. We can't go back and, if I were a kid and I got this book and read it, and I was like, man, the Civil War set for $1.49, probably would have done the exact same thing. I remember when I ate 10 boxes of ET cereal to get the Michael Jackson read-along book. That was a lot of ET cereal, 10 boxes. But we cut out the UPCs on all that, mailed that in. We got it. Man, do I wish I had kept that. I'm sure that's a big-time collectible. because it's like Michael Jackson and E.T. on the cover, and it's basically, you know, like a read-along book narrated by Michael Jackson. We got the cassette tape of that, not the record. But yeah, that was just you know, I just remember doing stuff like that as a kid, like, oh, I want that. And, you know, my mom was gracious enough to buy me all that sugary cereal to get that. But yeah, wow, what a great, you know, this is kind of precedes tomorrow's haul video. I'm anticipating we're going to go, again, I'm going to plan to go to North Seattle. We're going to probably spend $20. That's the hope. And we'll still be under budget. It's just, again, we want to save the majority of what we're earning toward our Vancouver trip. And so if we don't pick up anything, I'm still going to go live tomorrow night. And hang on. Oh, hey, what's up, Kenneth? Sorry, I didn't see your comment because like one of the notification panels was like blocking people in it. But thanks for joining, man. So yeah, back to my point. Even if we don't pick up anything tomorrow, which in all likelihood that may be because we'll go there. If I don't like the pricing at, you know, at either the two places that we're going to hit, we just won't come back with anything. And my fear is like they'll have a big key book there for a decent price, and there's going to be that urge to like, do we pick it up or do we try to pick it up in Vancouver? And I'm specifically thinking of two books because the last time I went up there, they had one of the books, which was G.I. Joe #1 newsstand. And I should have got it at that price then. It's probably not there now, but in case they have something similar, it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna instill in me some anxiety, like, oh, do I pick this up now, or do you think we can run into it in Canada for a better price? And that's what I'm hoping to avoid altogether. So like, hopefully they don't have any like big key books that are on my list, but we'll come back with whatever haul from those two visits and we'll reveal that. But really the focus of tomorrow's live stream is going to be on that top 10, you know, formulating that top 10 want list. And I mentioned in the previous video, that want list is really important because there's so many things I want to pick up. Even, you know, like today, all this stuff, it's technically on our want list, you know, but having a real key priority list, meaning a good balance of like big books and definitely like books, if we run into them, we have to pick up, meaning we'll scrounge or whatever, like maybe even forego some of the bigger books to pick up those smaller books. So it's not necessarily a list of big books, but it's a list of like priority books. Like these are things we have to pick up, like no matter what, because they're just been on the radar for so long. We don't want to miss opportunities when we, you know, run into them. Some of them aren't big books, but you know, I have a couple in mind that, man, it's just been so long. I've been looking for these books for years, it seems like. If we run into it, it's definitely one of those decisions like, yes, we're picking it up no matter what. So hopefully we run into a couple of those tomorrow. But if we run into them in Canada, again, having them on the list is good, so that we at least look for them, you know, whether it's in a bargain bin, but we're cognizant. That's the focus. You know, you could just spend time digging rather than going around asking, do you have this book? Do you have this book? Do you have this book? And getting a sense of what people have and what their prices are, and really honing in on the best condition, the best price, and focusing on the negotiation aspect of getting them down on it and picking it up. So yeah, really having a focused list of priority books is key. And that's harder. That's, I think easier said than done, because there's just so many books that on any given day, like you could look at the list and be like, yeah, that makes sense. And then, 3 days later, you look at the list, but no, this one has to go in there. This one has to go in there. And so, it's hard to formulate. Like you have this, you have a plethora of books in your head that you want to add to the collection that are all PC worthy, that are all like things that you're into and love. But at the end of the day, like, when you're saving and you've got limited time and you got to prioritize and really focus, we want to come out of this event at least having looked for and found a set of books. And that's what we're going to focus on tomorrow. We're going to focus on prioritizing our larger list to a focused list that will be targeted when we go to the comic show in Canada. So I'm getting really excited for that Vancouver trip. Obviously, we're going to, connect and spend some time with Alex Bustos, who's going to be in the Artist Alley at this show. So we're going to want to support her as well. But overall, yeah, I mean, we're going to spend some time with her, chit chat, and then I'm going to get right to hunting. And then hopefully by the end, when she's finished up, we'll go get some dinner. And then it's a long, kind of late drive back for me on my way back. I'm hoping I don't fall asleep at the wheel or anything like that. But I'm sure I'll be amped up on comic book adrenaline, as well as I'm going to probably, drink a Red Bull or something just to keep me amped on the way back down. And really looking forward to it. Again, I think we're going to yeah. Hey, Damien. So yeah, really, it's going to be great. I anticipate we're going to take a good amount of budget up there. And again, if we're focused enough, we're hoping to come back with a lot of the books that are on our want list. If anything else, just a bunch of Canadian variants, because when in Canada, pick up Canadian variants, right? So just the fact that we're going to be able to pick up even maybe some of the books that I already have, if we run into them, like, a dollar bin and they're all Canadian variants, I'm sure we're going to leave a little budget to do that at the end. But yeah, you'd think, a good 6 hours or whatever we're going to spend there's enough time. You'd be wrong. Because 6 hours goes by like that when you're at an event such as that, especially when you're like digging and trying to be as thorough, like get through as many short boxes, long boxes as you can. Time management is really important. Hey, Damien. So, Damien, I want to also come visit you in Portland this summer. So hopefully, I've been working weekends, and I'm just trying to find time, during the work week to stop off at some of these places. It's been really hard to get time. In fact, even the Sunday I'm going up to Vancouver, I'm actually taking a day off from work to be able to go do that. So hopefully at some point, maybe in late August or maybe early September, I can stop off in Portland for a day. And I mean, I've been, I know there's so many great shops in Portland, especially in terms of the back issue selection. I mean, you've covered a couple shops. I've seen other people cover shops. And I just know Portland has such a better comic book scene than they do here in Seattle. So yeah, I wish I could spend, I wish I could spend a good amount of time down there, like multiple days, and just just devote time to each shop to thoroughly, like, and obviously have budget to thoroughly find stuff. But um, yeah, I think I mentioned before, I do want to cap what we pick up, and we're very close to doing that. But I'm now really, really, I mean, this is well within our bandwidth to add stuff, but we're eventually getting to a point where we're having to consolidate a lot of this stuff. I'm consolidating into my bookshelf, actually, just like stacking, like getting containers like this and putting books in there, and then just stowing it away in between the cracks and crevices of this bookshelf, just to create overall room for a collection. And then there's going to be a point where, I mean, we're already like 3 boxes, kind of into 3 boxes of overflow. So as much as I'd love to just collect everything to my heart's content, I think realistically, we've probably got one more summer in the next Frankenstein comic show. Oh, that seems like something I would be. Is that like a bargain? So another like bargain type show with a lot of vendors? That would be nice to attend. So yeah, if that's coming up, hopefully we can do that. I do know there's a show here, the Grit City Comic Show. So Grit City Comic Show is, Naman Hyung and I went there last year. It was a great time. Picked up a lot of books, didn't spend a lot. But I'm gonna do less. I'm gonna do less hauls like that. I think now is a good time to just, again, we've got limited space, so it's worth. I mean, we're still gonna dig in the dollar bins, but it's worth kind of prioritizing the higher valued stuff, the higher grade stuff. I see. Okay. Quarterly. Wow, that's pretty cool. But yeah, just being more cognizant of quality over volume. Because up to now, we've been just like trying to pick up volume. And I think now that we have the collection where it is, there may come a time where we need to purge a lot of this stuff, just to create room. And I would rather trade or sell books to community members than, because you don't get good value when you sell to shops. They're not going to give you good value for it. So for me to like be able to like get people books that they want in exchange for books that I want, or even like, I don't know, maybe at the end of the day, it'll just be like, I see a lot of like younger collectors out there who, yeah, you got to purge. I see a lot of younger collectors out there who are getting into collecting. And so I wouldn't mind just gifting them the books to really get them into at least reading the books and enjoying them. And hopefully, promoting their initial curiosity about the hobby, because it's a hard hobby, especially with the prices of current books, being what they are. Back when it was like it was still $1 for me back in the day when I was picking up books like this. It was still $1, which is like, you could pick up 5 books for with your, like allowance money or money that you saved up. And that's not bad, But today I feel like, yeah, I mean, you got to pay, at least $4 for a modern book, even more for like a variant cover or, Marvel tends to like understand what it's putting out. So if it's putting out something they know is going to generate a lot of interest and sales, they'll spike that up to like a $7 book versus keeping it at like $4. Even $4 is like, ugh. But anyway, it's like inflation and all those things is unfortunately a sad reality of this hobby. And hopefully these companies, like, I don't know, I think making these books, bringing more collectors into the hobby is key. I'm sure it's very healthy right now. From the discussions I've had, it seems like the current state of the comic book industry is still rather healthy. You've got a lot of people buying from the comic book shops, buying comic books on a month-to-month basis, even at these sort of elevated prices. And that's good. That's great. But how long that'll continue is always a concern. And yeah, a lot of people are saying, predicting a quote unquote soft landing. If that soft landing doesn't go quite to plan, then we're looking at a recession, people not having as much as they used to have. And that all has a factor in whether you can continue to pick up books or not. So yeah, we are right as of now. I'm not trying to dampen my parade in terms of what we're adding to the collection, or the kinds of things we can pick up this summer. Because I think in terms of this summer, we have more than enough space, given again the focus on picking up bigger books rather than the volume of books. Yeah, in fact, I'm just like, I'm still looking in dollar bins because a lot of the Jim Lee stuff and the stuff I'm looking for are still there. But no longer am I just picking up things like, oh, this is $1 and it's something I want. Like, I'm past that point, I guess, now. Yeah. Young readers should pick up the dollar books and read the books. There's so much good stuff. So much good stuff from all ages, and they're already into the comic book. Everybody knows Fantastic Four. You don't have to be, you don't have to have necessarily read all the Silver Age stuff to know who Reed Richards is and who Sue Storm is. Like, everybody kind of knows these characters. But definitely, if you have an opportunity to pick up back issues and read them and appreciate some of these great stories, doesn't hurt. And of course, everybody can do that. I've been doing it through the library. Picking up these like great collected books. Just gives you so much. Yeah, this War of the Gods it's got a mix of the Wonder Woman issues from War of the Gods, as well as the standalone series. So a lot of just incredible artwork. Looking forward to finishing that. But yeah, my point with the limited time. I honestly think come end of next summer, I think that'll be a point where either I have to purge books, like a large purge, or we just kind of wrap up, you know, I don't want to even say wrap up, but maybe take a hiatus. Maybe take a hiatus, focus on maybe selling stuff, giving stuff away, whatever the case may be. But I think next summer, it'll be a nice, like, okay, we're gonna take a pause, reevaluate where we are with the collection. Definitely kind of partition stuff that stays in versus stuff that can go. There's a lot of stuff that can go, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of stuff I want to keep and stay, but there's also a lot of stuff that can go. And if I'm willing to kind of let go, and it's been really hard to be like, I got to let that go kind of thing. But if again, I think come end of summer next year, because we're going to do this again next summer. If we get the part-time job, my wife and kid are out in Japan again next summer, which I anticipate, they will be. It's pretty much an annual kind of thing now. I think at the end of next year's like summer haul, it'll be a nice, maybe even after the end of this summer, we're definitely going to do a lot of reflection, contemplation of where the collection is. There's a lot of stuff that we have in the collection. But, again, if we're going to pick up more stuff next year, we have to be cognizant of like what can go and what has to stay. So yeah, we just got to take it, to be honest, like I picked this up. It's $1 book. And this is going to stay in the collection. It's going to stay in the collection. It's just an incredible burn cover here. Yeah, it's just incredible burn cover. That's all that is. And sometimes that's all it has to be. But yeah, everything here that we picked up in this haul is pretty much stuff that's staying. All right, well, thanks, guys. Hey, what's up? What's up, Jeff? Glad you could join. Who else is here? Kenneth is here. Damien's here. Glad you guys could stop by. It's been fun. Again, tomorrow we're going to hop on the live stream right around this time again. I'm going to focus on our priority list, what we picked up. I did not pick up Batman 251, the Joker cover. I'd claimed it, but the guy, because I asked him to drop the price on it, he basically blocked me. So I no longer have access to Ali Collectibles. The guy's kind of a dick, if you ask me, because I don't think, obviously you don't want people just claiming stuff and dropping stuff. But when you don't have a conversation around that and you just block people off, that cumulative effect, I'm not going to recommend Ali Collectibles to anybody I know. But anyway, they sell big books and they have pretty good prices. So it is a channel for a lot of people I know in the community. So I'm not going to bash them too hard. But yeah, I claimed a book. I didn't want to pay that because I disagreed with the grade. And the guy's like, you should have done that due diligence prior to claiming the book. And I countered with like, well, you shouldn't, you should have that maybe, have all that kind of, set out in the post itself, like high quality images, the cert number there, ready to go, maybe links to it, something. But You know, like when you have a claim system, no one's gonna sit there and be like, okay, let me go like research this book and then make a claim. It's like, you know, like blaming the consumer on that is just seems rather foolish. But anyway, it is what it is. He blocked me. I'm fine with it. I wasn't going to pick up that book for that price anyway. And I have my channels for picking up books. So his loss. I got budget this summer to pick up big books. So ultimately, it's his loss. He's gonna lose out on potential sales. And again, I think the price I offered him is more than fair. The fact that he didn't take it is more of a reflection on him than it is on me. So, all right. See you later, guys. I'm also gonna hop off, make myself some dinner, and kind of reorganize stuff, and we'll do more of it come tomorrow. All right. Thanks for joining. We'll see you the next one. Peace out.